to tonight's live training on the topic of baptism. And the goal of tonight's webinar, as is the goal of each webinar, is to accomplish two items. First is to teach you how to use Logos Bible software to study this topic for yourself. Our goal is not just merely to show you functions of Logos and bells and whistles and cool features, but to apply that so that you on your own can study the Bible more effectively with this amazing tool. But the second part of the training is that we're going to be sharing the scriptures with you, showing you how to study the Bible so that you can gain better insights into the Word of God. And as we all know, as we know the Word better, we know our God better, and that makes it possible for us to serve Him better. And hopefully in that process of studying and learning, we begin to grow and become more like Christ and more effective in our ministries as we serve the Lord. So let's begin. Number one is the webinar will be made available in 1 to 2 days at a discount for those who are here, and 50% off. It'll be $4.99. And then if you are new to the webinar technology and visiting us for the first time, you may not be aware of the Logos training. Now, we carried Logos 4 training, and that is available. That's the blue disc there for 50% off. It's about 17 hours of training, and it's about 300 plus videos. And then we also now have the Logos 5 training. Those are the 3 DVDs you see there at the right. And both training has really 3 essential parts to it. The first part is to overview every single feature of the Logos program. The second part is to introduce you to a series of books. Now in the Logos 5, there's over 282 book overviews, and the Logos 4 is about 130. The purpose of these book overviews is not to review the book and be all academic, but to introduce you to the resource, organize it, and group them along the way with certain Bible study processes. So I'll have the best books on prayer, the best books on word studies, the best books on commentaries, and then I'll open up the book before you in the training and show you some of the key data you'll find in there to help you in your studies. And that's a very important component of your Bible study process, is knowing what books to go to when you're studying. And then the third component is the application of the technology. We'll take you through step by step a passage. In the blue disc, the Logos 4, we take you through the Great Commission. And in Logos 5, we take you through the parable of the sower, Matthew chapter 13. So all combined, you're looking at, in the version 5 training, 500 videos over 21 hours. And this is the most comprehensive training. Now, it's a different style and format than the webinar. And the webinar is very loose, very comfortable, energetic, and very dynamic because we have questions along the way. Whereas the Logos 5 and 4 training is systematic. It's at your own pace, comes in an interactive flavor as well as a non-interactive flavor. And in version 5, we added the feature where you can save the videos to your iPad if you want. So there's that option as well. So very excited to offer that to you. It's 50% off, and just go to LearnLogos.com and you'll see the training video link. In fact, let me just go ahead and just bring that over real quick so you know where to go and how to get these. Let me bring the browser in and just go up here to the top left, and then we'll go ahead and float your mouse over video training, and then you can select the type of training you want: DVD and download, DVD only, and download only. And you can see Logos 5 is the first 3, Logos 4 is the second 3, and then the list of all the webinars and so forth. And if you want to see the contents of those, you can click here and a few other places, and you get all the complete list of all the videos covered. So very helpful there. So what are tonight's topics? Well, first we're going to look, we're doing the introduction opening. That's what we're doing right now. We're going to show you some recommended but not required resources. We're going to overview the issues associated with baptism, and there are many. And then I'm going to take you through a kind of a different process, a 5-step process. I'm going to show you how to find and read all the passages related to baptism. We're going to analyze and organize and complete your word studies. We'll show you how to dig deeper into the controversies. And then I'm going to show you how to create a table of views with supporting scriptures. So this strategy is to how do you organize all this different information. And then also step 5 is a template for keeping track of questions. Now, there's a lot of material here for this baptism, and that's why we're doing this webinar, so that you can be situated and put in a position to kind of wind you up and set you out on your study. And we're going to do that. So let's go ahead and jump in. And part of the one of the things I've added to the webinars is the personal book. and that is going to be free with every purchase of the webinar. It's my notes that I use, and it has all the links that you'll see. It has all the collection rules, it has all the books listed, etc. So for example, here, let me expand the table of contents. You can see at the left that I'm expanding the table of contents. And as you can see, it's quite detailed, quite organized, walking you through all the content. All we have to do is go to the main menu and click Tools, and then choose from the menu Collections. So Tools, Collections. Now I'm going to click Open because I've already created the rule. You can go ahead and click New. So I'm going to go ahead and put in baptism. So now that you've clicked New, let's give it a name, and I would title it Baptism. Very straightforward. Now this rule is very easy to do because there's only two parts to it. The first part is title, baptism, and then space in all capital letters, the word or, and then another space, and then the word subject, baptism. Now let me explain what I'm doing here so this can help you as you build other collections. Try that. So I'm going to go ahead and go to search. I'm going to click on basic search, and I'm going to type in quotes, views on baptism. Now why am I doing this? It turns out, actually let me search all entire library. So choose entire library as the resources that you're going to be searching, and then put in the phrase, in quotes, views on baptism. Very important you put in quotes because we're looking for that phrase. If you don't put in quotes, you're going to get more hits back, and it won't be as precise. Now, what we got back is about 105 results and 92 articles. You'll notice that this phrase, views on baptism, is a common recurring phrase in a lot of these articles, and this will allow you to very quickly find those articles that are going to discuss these multiple views. This is going to be extremely helpful in this particular topic because of all the various views related to baptism, and this will be very helpful to do that. So for example, we got this neat resource back. This is kind of neat. Here we have Dictionary of Christianity in America, and this is about John Knox from early 1800s, and then he talks about here, upon his arrival, however, he changed his views on baptism. Knox was baptized by immersion, moved to Albany, New York, where he pastored a Baptist church. He returned to the island in 1842, but only after deeply influenced by the ideas of men like Barton and Alexander, who believed they were restoring the church to its New Testament. And so anyway, it talks about his views and how they changed, and maybe we can learn more why. So in either case, very, very helpful in searching for that way, and this will help you find many more resources. So for example, here we've got the Reform response. Well, this is all coming from the four views. Let me see if I scroll down here. And here we have Calvin's theory of the sacraments and what he believed, what Zwingli believed in the Swiss Reformation. Up above we have the Anabaptist views, Karl Barth, and etc. So this is going to be a great way to sometimes find out what specific individuals believe, as well as what people have taught over the years throughout history. So very helpful there. All right, now this is going to get really interesting, and so I'm going to guide you because this topic is just so huge. So what I've done in the personal books, let me close this down and maximize it, is I'm not going to go through every search here because it would just take up hours. But what I have done in the personal book is I've identified the major searches and phrases you're going to need to use to discover this topic more in depth. So we'll do a couple of these just to demonstrate. But for example, there's several questions you need to ask. For example, what is baptism? Is it a symbol? Is it a sacrament? Or is it salvation? That is forgiveness of sin. So that first set of questions, what is baptism, and the three possibilities are all here organized in the search. So I'm going to do the first one. So here I'm going to do search, basic search, baptism, near symbol. So let me go ahead and do that. Search, basic search, and I'm going to copy and paste this phrase. Baptism, the word near is a proximity phrase that you can use, and then the word symbol. So what it means to Logos when you search with this word near is it says, find me the word baptism, and near it, find the word symbol. And when those two are in close proximity, return those as search results. And that's exactly what we see here. Symbolizes baptism, all very in close proximity. Here we have two footnotes, so we can look at those, and here we have those discussing these issues. Symbol and baptism, baptism and symbolized. And so now we're going to begin to see those articles that specifically target this concept. And that will allow you to very quickly, from all the resources in your library, find only those resources that talk about baptism and symbolism. Now, some of these articles are going to be for that view. Some of the articles will be against that view if you have resources that have that kind of depth and breadth. So that'll be extremely helpful. And then you can just simply scroll through the titles and the search results and see if any of those are appropriate. And that will make it a whole lot easier for you to discover this topic and what your resources say. So what I've done here is just broken them all down. The salvation passage, I add a little bit different style in the search results. So let me do this one. Notice here that I have the word baptism like before, but I use a proximity search within 10 words. I want it really specifically close, within 10 words. So that means find me this Bible passage, 1 Peter 3:21, either 10 words before the word baptism or 10 words after. Erwin's got a question. He says, how close do terms need to be? I have found, Erwin, over time that 10 is a really good starting point. 9 times out of 10, that's going to get me just the right number of results. If I get too many, then I'll cut that number in half, like to 5. If I get too few, then I'll double the number to 20. And that's why I like using the within 10 words, because it allows me to run a second or third search, whereas the near doesn't really give me that flexibility. It's kind of Logos's way of just kind of automatically doing it. And so if you want precision and control, you got to pull out the within 10 words. But 10 words seems to be a really good number to use. It just is a nice balanced result there. Now, why did I pick 1 Peter 3:21? Well, if you know your Bible, here's the main passage that people quote for baptism saving them. And we're going to talk about this later. But here it is. Corresponding to that, baptism now saves you. Not the removal of dirt from the flesh, but an appeal to God for a good conscience through the resurrection of Jesus Christ. This is the main passage that those who hold to the view that baptism forgives sins, this is the passage. So if you want to study this topic of baptism and the connection to forgiveness of sins, this is the search you're going to run. Baptism within 10 words, and then a less than sign Bible space equals 1 Peter 3:21. Let's go ahead and run that search and show you what comes back. Now what that's going to do is it's going to reorganize my search results based on the different lemmas. Now, this little triangle that you see in the first row next to our first Greek word, baptizo, I'm going to right-click on it, and I'm going to choose the last menu option, Summary View. Now, what that's going to do is it's going to list for me all the Greek lemmas associated with our English word bapt-star. So we got baptizo, we got baptisma, we got baptistes, is hard to say some of these words, and baptismos, okay? So we got 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 4 different lemmas associated with our one Greek word. Now let's take a look. Let's do the search again on the root, and let's see what we got back here. So I'm going to do a search on the root in Logos 5, and I'm going to click Analysis again. But this time I'm gonna do it on the root again. I'm gonna click on Analysis like I did before. I'm gonna locate the lemma, which is already there. I'm gonna right-click on that triangle, and I'm gonna choose Summary View. Now you notice I got a few more search results. I got back, let's see, well, we got, of course, bapto, which we didn't have before, and we got aim bapto. So 2 additional words came back that we didn't see before. Let me just double check here. Put them side by side so we can see them. So 1, 2, 3. Oh, that's the one we were just looking at. There we go. Let me right-click here, do Summary View. So yeah, so we got baptizo was the same, baptisma was the same, baptistes was the same, and baptismos was the same. But these 2 additional ones, bapto and aim bapto, were extra. So the Logos 5 makes it a little bit easier for you to find all the related lemmas, but for those of you who still have Logos 4, hey, you can get pretty close. You'll be able to find these anyway when you start searching on other terms. Okay, so let me go ahead, and I see a question coming in here. Do the different roots have different low-knighted definitions? That's a great question, and they should. So we're going to be talking about Louw-Nida in just a minute, but since you've asked for that, let's go ahead and just jump there now. Okay, so let's take each one. I'm going to go to the, let me go back to my list here, and we'll go to Matthew 3:6. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn on my Louw-Nida display. So let's go ahead and do that. So I'm going to go to display, and I'm going to click inline, and I'm going to leave my surface. I'm going to take off the manuscript. I'm just going to put the Louw-Nida in there. Okay, check the box. So this way, I just see the English and the Louw-Nida number. So let's go to the first lemma, which is baptizo, and we see it's 5341. Okay, so let's go to the next one, Matthew 3:7, and we'll see if it's got a different number. All right, so we go to Matthew 3:7, and we see that it's got 9224 and 5341. It's probably not a good example because it's got two numbers in there. So 5341, and that first one. So in that case, it was exactly the same. Interesting. Let's go to the third one. Let's go to Matthew 11:11. Now this one is different, 5342 instead of 41. Scrolling down, we'll go to Luke 16. There's 4711. So a significantly different Louw-Nida number, completely different category with a 47 versus 54. And then we've got New Testament baptism, baptize, baptist, baptize, baptizing. We've got wash, and we've got fill. Now, I want you to notice something here, that I've got this additional word, luo. Okay, let me click on that. Now, you may be wondering, why did I pick this one up? Well, if you do a search on wash in the New Testament, you're going to come across some of these words. In fact, all right, couple things. Don't forget, sign up at twitter.com/LearnLogos, as well as facebook.com/LearnLogos, so you can be notified of coupons, specials, and events. And I don't do much tweeting or Facebooking, only stuff related to the LearnLogos ministry, so it will be kept to a minimum. We've got a mini seminar coming up in Chicago, so if you live in that area and get there, it's a $45 special rate, and you're going to get the Logos 5 training DVD when you sign up for that. And there's directions at the website. Just go to, in fact, let me show you how to find that on the LearnLogos.com website. Very easy to do. Just go to LearnLogos.com and scroll over to the right a little bit. Let me just minimize. You'll see mini seminars over here at the right, and just click on events, mini seminars event, and you'll get a link, and there you can just add to cart, and away you go. You can also print this section and so forth, and all the information will be sent to you, and the DVDs will be sent right away. So it's a great way to get a good deal. Not only DVD training, but live training for 8 hours that's customized for you. And then next week, very excited, I know it'll be after Memorial Day weekend, End Times Part 1 Bible Prophecy. Now this End Times is going to be a 4-part series. In fact, let me show you the other ones that will be coming up. So let me go back to LearnLogos.com and click on, if you go to Webinars Live Training, a 10 live training event schedule. That'll get you there. And if you scroll down, let me do Bible, let me just do End Times. So part 1's going to be Bible prophecy, and that's just going to be next week, kind of laying the foundation for what is biblical prophecy, how can we discern from true prophecy and false prophecy, all that good stuff. What are the patterns of prophecy? Then later in September, we're going to do the rapture views. Okay, so are you pre-trib? Are you mid-trib? Are you mid-wrath? Are you post-trib? Are you no rapture? We're going to deal with that. And then Tuesday on October 8th, we're going to deal with part 3, what is the tribulation? Is it 7 years, 3.5, split by 2? What's going on here? What is it? What's going to happen, etc. And then on, let's see, November 7th, will be part 4, the last one, the millennial kingdom. What is it? How long? Who's going to be there? All that amazing stuff. So I'll be putting sign-ups for those next week as well. So you better sign up for those in advance. But very excited to bring you Bible prophecy. How do we tell true prophets from false prophets and all that good stuff? And so I'm looking forward to that very much. And hey, Derek made a comment. This is worth saying. Never thought I would get all of that out of a mundane subject as baptism. This was great. Just kidding on the word mundane. No, I know exactly what you mean, Derek. And this is why I do these webinars, because when you peel back the layer on a topic, you begin to see how rich it is and how connected it is back to the cross and the work and redemption of God. And so I'm so glad you mentioned that, because it can seem like that at first blush. But as you discovered, this topic, probably more than others, has a lot more to it than meets the eye. So thanks for pointing that out. That's a great, great thought. Okay, so next Monday, week from tonight, End Times Part 1, Bible Prophecy. Very excited to bring that to you. Well, let me close in prayer, and we'll wrap it up and let you guys go.